No, look, it's fantastic to see Tags back. He scored this morning. Obviously, the game's still going on, but what he brings is to the team is a lot of quality in between the lines, and also, he's a goal scorer, and he's doing extremely well in J League One. He's come back from a long injury, and it's great to have him back.
What did you miss? Sorry, just to follow up on that. When he's not there?
One of his, I think, one of his strengths is holding the ball up and linking the play, so you can play it into his feet and have players running off him. But also, the runs he makes into the box are very good, and he's been known for that for years. And he's been, an elite goal scorer for a long time. But he just gives you something different of those number 9, something completely different to Mitchell Duke and Jamie McLaren and Nick D'Agostino that we've missed enormously pretty much over the whole campaign. I think he participated only in the first 4 games and didn't participate in the rest. But it's great to have him back.
Ed Jackson.
Arnie, how you going, mate?
Good, mate.
I guess, given all the speculation and everything that came out after the Saudi Arabia game, does that add any extra level of determination on your part going into these playoffs, knowing that you've sort of had that vote of confidence from FA to see this qualifying campaign through?
Yeah, look, Ed. I was aware of a little bit of it. I don't read the media side or the social media side, so I was aware of a bit of it, but at the same time, I can't say that I've really coached this team this year. If I've not been present, at both camps. I wasn't present at the Vietnam game, and I got into camp for the Japan game on the day of the game at midday. So I actually am big with coaching of face-to-face relationships, face-to-face communication, and also face-to-face training. So I wasn't able to do that in any of the camps so far this year. So it's just great for me to be able to feel like a coach again and be back in camp. And, I'm just seeing the boys arrive now, and it's giving me a heap of energy. So, as I said, it's, all that speculation is speculation, but I've grown up over the years, Ed, where I lost my parents at a young age. And I've always been someone who loves a challenge in life. And this is going to be a challenge, but it's going to be a great challenge. And the bigger the challenge, the more I like it.
Michael, and just quickly, what does it mean to get, obviously you didn't have Lex or Jackson Irvine, Moy, Rogic, you didn't have them for the last camp. What does it mean to get those guys back in for these playoffs?
Yeah, and you can add another 5 or 6 players, Ed, that weren't available last camp. So it's just great to get a full squad. And this will be the first time in the 4 years that I've been in charge that we will have 7 to 8 days, to 10 days, preparation for a game. And it starts with the first training session today. We're still waiting for the A-League Grand Finalist players to come in either tomorrow or Tuesday. And we'll be ready for this Jordan game on Wednesday. The game against Jordan will be strictly down to more of the players that have not played match minutes over the last 3 weeks. We don't want to send them into a 4-week window of not having any match minutes at all. So the selection of the squad will be based around players, or the starting 11 will be based around players that haven't played, for probably 3 weeks or more. And they need minutes in their legs.
Michael Lynch.
Hi, Arnie. Can you hear me?
Yes, Lynchy. How are you, bud?
I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. Just done the grand final down here in Melbourne.
That's great.
Look, there was a lot of stick earlier this week when it came out that some of the most informed players in the A-League hadn't been selected. We're talking about the Warren medalists, Jake Brimmer and Jason Cummings, and even the goalkeeper, Mark Birighitti, a lot of criticism. It's your right, obviously, to select who you want, but were there any factors that perhaps brought you to overlook them?
Well, I watch the A-League, and it's great that you're talking about A-League players not getting selected, because in the past probably we've had minimal A-League players selected in the squad. Jakey Brimmer's been fantastic, but I only can pick, 20, this squad we picked 28, 29, and then Jakey, in front of Jakey, well, you got, in his position, you got Tommy Rogic, Aiden Aristich and Riley McGree. So it makes that choice quite difficult. Jason Cummings, again, I look at him as a player, and he's very similar to Jamie McLaren. He's he's very different to Taggart and Duke and D'Agostino. I look at him as very similar to Jamie, and Jamie was the leading goal scorer in the A-League. So, I've spoke to Jason about it, and he clearly understands where he's at, and he's enjoying things very much on the Central Coast, and he's doing exceptionally well on the Central Coast, and it's great to see that he gives us more options.
Lynchy, another one?
Can I, just to follow up on that, Arnie, just a completely different take. I mean, I've known you a long time through your playing career. You played in some very big games, and you've coached in some big games. Do you feel that these two are potentially the biggest games of your footballing career? They'll determine your immediate future, won't they?
You could probably say that, Lynchy, but for me, it's I'm not looking at the future after. It's I've given 40 years to Australian football, so it's mainly just for these two games. Of course, they're important games. They're just as important in 2006 when we played Uruguay, and as important as many other games. So it's just one to add to the long list. But it's one that I'm just here to help the game and help the boys fulfil their dreams.
Arnie, interested what you're thinking at the base of midfield. You've obviously, again, it's one of those positions where you've had, it's just dependent on who's available. Where do you think your head's at in that regard at the moment?
Yeah, look, it's a very important position. Aaron Moy obviously hasn't had much game time, but he's the sacrifices that he's shown and done to be ready for these games has been quite incredible. He's very fit. I do believe that he is ready for anything, and these type of games, Adam, is 95% of this is mental, and that the mentality has to be right. And during this campaign, I've had to, as you said, I've had to try and develop players on the way, and Denny Janoub is doing and has done exceptionally well. Aiden Aristich, just won the Europa League playing as a double six when he came on for Frankfurt. So we've got a few choices there. That Riley McGree is doing the same at Middlesbrough. So we've got a few choices there that it's more about the quality of the footballer and getting them on the ball. But also at the same time, as I said, I'll have 9 days to be able to work with these boys for the first time. That on the defensive side of things, they need to track back and they need to make sure that they're defending well as well. So it's not just about having the ball. So it's it's something we will be working on.